The megaflood that ended the Messinian salinity crisis in the Eastern Mediterranean, new evidence of this. This is something that really fascinates me because we have evidence of tremendous amounts of world flood that has covered everything, lots of ancient areas in hundreds of meters of mud. What could have possibly made this happen? Well, one of them is we have the Old Testament historical events of the Great Flood, but it seems that there were many a time when these great floods, perhaps by asteroid strikes, comet strikes, and world events, world changes, and this is one of them. New evidence concerning the megaflood in the Mediterranean on phys.org by Institute of Earth Sciences Jaume Almera, University of Malta, by ICTIA CSIC. A study conducted by an international team of scientists found new evidence supporting the hypothesis of a megaflood occurring during the Zanclean period, in which water from the Atlantic, can you imagine what happened? Water from the Atlantic poured back into the Mediterranean Sea and ended the Messinian salinity crisis. This happened about 5 million years ago. Messinian salinity crisis is MSC for short. The study, led by Professor Aaron Micallef of University of Malta, has been published in the Scientific Reports Journal. Now, we know that it's not just the Mediterranean that perhaps this took place. We know that the Black Sea, they say, was once a lake, but now it has, because of what happened during something that took place from the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean Sea, they say, sloshed over into the Black Sea, filling it with salt water. Now, using seismic profiles and borehole data from our offshore eastern Sicily of Italy, researchers have identified a large body of sediments buried in the subsurface of Sicily Channel, which are characterized as being extensive and chaotic, quote unquote. They have named this mass of material Unit 2. The study says that this huge mass of sediments is composed of materials eroded and transported by the great flow of water that flooded the Ionian Basin. The Ionian Sea is between Italy and Greece. It flooded the Ionian Basin through the Strait of Sicily. Once the western basin of the Mediterranean was refilled with the contribution of water coming from, of course, the Atlantic Ocean that had poured in previously through the Strait of Gibraltar. This event is known as the Zanclean megaflood, as we said, 5 million years ago. The discovered sediments have been located over a layer of salts originating previously during a partial desiccation of the Mediterranean Sea, during the MSC, and under another layer of common marine sediments that were deposited after the flood and during the restoration of the normal marine conditions. Quote, the deposits identified in our study have little reflectivity of the seismic waves. They are seismically transparent and present a disordered internal structure of the layers, which is very similar to the sediments typically originating in catastrophic floods, end quote. This is explained by Daniel Garcia Castellanos, co-author of the study and researcher from Barcelona's Institute of Earth Sciences Jaume Almera of the CSIC. The study indicates that the sedimentary body found next to the base of the Malta escarpment between the eastern and western Mediterranean Sea is wedge-shaped, and its estimated thickness is up to 860 meters in some parts. It's basically almost 3,000 feet thick. And according to the researchers, it would be the largest known megaflood deposit on Earth. The largest known megaflood deposit on Earth. According to the models of the paper that we published in Nature in 2009, the flood would have lasted only a few years, reaching discharges of up to 100 million cubic meters per second, about a rate 1,000 times the current flow of the Amazon River. This is what Garcia Castellanos explains. Researchers have also identified a spot in the Channel of Sicily as the most likely gateway for the Eastern Mediterranean Zanclean flood across the Malta escarpment, the submarine canyon of Noto, which is southeast Sicily. That's towards the Ionian Sea. The authors of the study explain that this canyon has a unique morphology. Its amphitheater shape head is 6 kilometers wide, that's about 4 miles, and is similar to that of bedrock canyons rapidly eroded by megaflood. The researchers interpret the Noto submarine canyon as a collector of the cascading flow into the Ionian basin. The study points to the abrupt and catastrophic nature of the environmental changes that occurred during the Messinian period, the most important since the dinosaurs' extinction 65 million years ago, Daniel Garcia Castellano expresses. Now, the Messinian Salinity crisis, an unrecognizable Mediterranean Sea. About 6 million years ago, the connection between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea was interrupted. This event led to the partial desiccation of the Mediterranean Sea, which became a giant saline lake, with an estimated sea level drawdown of 1,300 to 2,400 meters. The event is known as Messinian Salinity crisis. A major open question about this period is how normal marine conditions were restored. The hypothesis of the Zanclean megaflood proposes that there was a massive inflow of water through the Strait of Gibraltar that first flooded the western Mediterranean basin, then through the Strait of Sicily, which was once the division between the eastern and western bases, flooded the Ionian basis. Some studies indicate that this filling process lasted between a few months to only 2 years. So this is the area of the burial flood deposit shown by the map, as you can see. Amazing. This was about 5 million years ago. The largest known megaflood deposit on Earth. 3,000 feet in some parts was its thickness. Now the island under Sicily, as you can see here at around the 7 o'clock position on the map here, is Malta. Above that is Sicily at the boot of Italy, and where that depression is into the Ionian Sea is the area of the huge megaflood deposit, the biggest one known on Earth. This is on phys.org, Institute of Earth Science, Jaume Almera, and University of Malta. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.